And the girl, filled with a chilling sensation she could not explain, dove into the water. That kite, it reminded the little girl so much of her friend Carole. So free and graceful, yet tormented, as if by adverse currents, by the other girls at Bunny Hall.
Oh, and who would you be? Have you perhaps seen a bespectacled bunny?
Even the owl ignored her question and just stood there, staring at her, with those eyes, red like blood. But the little girl had no time to waste. She had to track down the bunny, and so she began to follow in its tracks.
will never be apart.
Where did this letter come from? That would only confirm the other girl's suspicions about Miss Carroll's potential elopement.
But don't you understand, Miss Hinman? If that was the case, what would be the point of burning this letter? It's already been several weeks since Carole left. And then, that mysterious boy.
A princess. Are you even able to stop time? Tar and coal where she was born. Luckily, even if that place turned out to be very hostile for her, there she met Carole, until...
Carole Simmons?
My Sweet Carole is an upcoming cinematic narrative horror adventure from director Chris Darrell, best known for the Remothered series, developed by Little Sewing Machine in collaboration with Mean Grip Game Studios and Dreams Uncorporated, and published by Maximum Entertainment. Set in early 1900s England, during a period when the women's suffrage movement is beginning to reshape society, the game follows the story of Lana Benton, a young orphan who arrives at the eerie Bunny Hall orphanage to uncover the mystery behind the disappearance of her closest friend, Carole Simmons. What begins as a grounded investigation quickly spirals into something much darker, as Lana finds herself crossing the boundary between reality and a twisted fairy tale dimension known as the Kingdom of Corolla. This strange alternate world is filled with haunting imagery, surreal landscapes and terrifying foes, including the tar rabbit colonies, the enigmatic Mr. Kin, and the menacing owl Valenia, all of which embody the unsettling blend of folklore and horror that defines the game's identity. One of the standout aspects of By Sweet Carole is its visual presentation. The entire experience is brought to life with painstaking, hand-drawn, frame-by-frame animation, inspired heavily by the golden era of classic animated films in the Disney Renaissance. Every frame has been crafted to evoke both beauty and unease, with richly painted backgrounds and cinematic presentation techniques that immerse players in a world that feels both familiar and uncanny. This meticulous art direction isn't just about style, it's central to the game's atmosphere, amplifying the contrast between moments of wonder and overwhelming dread. In terms of gameplay, By Sweet Carole blends classic platforming design with survival horror mechanics to create something uniquely unsettling. Players will guide Lana through both the real world and the dreamlike, dangerous Corolla, solving environmental puzzles, sneaking through corridors to avoid grotesque enemies, and making tense decisions about when to flee and when to stand their ground. A particularly unique mechanic is Lana's ability to shapeshift into a rabbit, allowing her to slip into hidden passages, access secret areas, and approach challenges in ways that feel both clever and thematically tied to the game's surreal identity. The seamless shifts between grounded, realistic exploration and fantastical horror highlight the game's commitment to narrative-driven immersion, making players feel constantly unbalanced and unsure of what lies ahead. Now you can enjoy the screenshots without any interruption. Enjoy!